Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from Bloomberg, well, an opinion piece written by Noah Smith, published on February 5th. It's in their economics section. And look at the title here. And this title is complete bullshit. Canceling Keystone XL heralds the end of fossil fuels, not jobs. Bullshit. It ends jobs. But they don't want to admit that, okay? Because this is about the fact of the globalist corporate fat cats getting rich off of the U.S. losing its energy independency, having to be dependent on foreign oil that they control. This is about the fact of basically fucking our economy, putting people out of work. This is about the Great Reset. That's what's behind this. This isn't about going green or green jobs or anything like this. This is about destroying our economy. Which is why, when you look at the lead in here, large numbers of oil workers will need to find new employment, but their skills will transfer, and the government should help smooth the way. No, their skills are not going to transfer. I'm sorry, but okay. I hate to break it to you, but roughnecks, okay, which are what oil workers are, okay? When I lived in Louisiana, my ex's brother, all right, her brother was a roughneck. I can tell you right now, his skills ain't going to transfer. And these are the same idiots saying that the skills will transfer are the same types that go, oh, well, they can go learn to code. I'll tell you right now, my ex's brother, good guy, dumb as a fucking post. Ain't going to be able to code, all right? The guy understands the idea of, like, say, construction type stuff, which is why he was able to become a roughneck, okay? Because he was able to, that type of hard manual labor he was good with, okay? Only job that he can make good money and, have the type of skills that he has. I mean, besides, say, regular construction, but you make way more money as a roughneck on an oil rig or a derrick, okay? And they're trying to be like, oh, these skills will just transfer. What are they going to transfer to? Okay, drilling pipe in the ground to extract natural gas or oil, or say even methane or other, other like byproducts from the drilling that they use, acetylene, and because some acetylene gas and other gases are there when they go in oil, when they drill for oil. But when they collect them, okay, that's the type of job where that's not going to transfer. What are you talking? Drilling wells for water, maybe? That's about the only thing you're going to find. An ability to transition to. And I don't think you're going to have all these wells being drilled for water. The demise of the Keystone XL pipeline heralds the beginning of the end for the oil age for the U.S. and Canada. Really? This is what's funny. It's being forced, though. This isn't a natural transition away. This isn't the market or people deciding. This was done through executive fucking fiat. This is a necessary evolution, but it raises many challenges. Workers displaced by the shift away from oil will need new jobs, and energy industry clusters like Houston and Alberta will need new activities to sustain their economies. So they're admitting that this is going to screw Alberta. This is going to screw Houston, on the note of the cities and the residents and the employment and everything else and their economies. But it's necessary. Yeah, okay. It would be easy to see the cancellation of the Keystone XL as merely a flamboyant political gesture by a new president intent on demonstrating loyalty to the environmental and Native American rights movements that have passionately opposed it. Well, first off, you've got minority groups of society, a small group of like leftist tree-hugging shitbricks and leftist American Indians that are against this. Most of the tribes, most of the people in the tribes that have the Keystone Pipeline involved with their tribal land or whatever, most of them are for it. Why? Because they get money. Okay? See, these are tribes that don't have casinos on their fucking land. So they'll take what money they can. And they're happy to take it. But a small minority spurgs out from the American Indian population, and leftists spurg out, and the rest of the fucking country has to bend over and take it up the ass. That's the mentality behind this, what they're saying with that. But this has nothing to do with that. This isn't why Biden did it. It's because all the people, the elites that Biden is, they're, the guy of, all right? They profit off of foreign oil. They don't profit off of domestic oil. All right. They don't profit off of the U.S. being energy independent. This has nothing to do with the environment. This has to do with them lining their pockets. But as my colleague Liam Denning writes, the pipeline project simply didn't make economic sense in the modern world. Yes, it did. It made great economic sense. Why? Because it made the United States energy independent, and it made it so that your average person, your low-income person, could afford to have a vehicle, have a car, okay, and actually use it to get to a job. Because the cost of fuel was cheap. Well, relatively cheap. That's not going to be the case anymore. The Canadians have gotten better at extracting oil from tar sands of Alberta. Those projects still require oil prices well over $40 a barrel to be profitable. Oil prices are just now $50, having fallen about half since the early 2010s. That's a slim margin. Well, that's because the market was fucking... You had the same shorting shit that happened with GameStop happen, which drove the price down. And you also have the fact that the pandemic has lowered demand, which is why it's at $50 a barrel. And it's still profitable. See, this is the thing. All right. They need prices over $40 a barrel to be profitable. It's over $50 a barrel. That makes economic sense. You're making profit. Besides making profit, the United States and Canada are independent, become... Well, the United States, definitely. Canada, for the most part, pretty much, yeah. But you have energy independence of the North American continent, we'll say. But hey, whatever. And this thing of, well, we'll stop the pipeline, it'll be $50, because it's $50 a barrel. This is going to drive the price of oil up. Above $50 a barrel. Well above it. Well, let's ignore and leave that out. The real death knell is society's determination to shift away from fossil fuels. Not society's determination. The elites, the globalists with their global warming, climate change bullshit, okay? They're the ones who want to do this because they want to make it so that the average person cannot afford, okay, energy. They want it so that your, the cost of energy for you is going to be so expensive that you become a fucking indentured servant. Well, not indentured. Well, technically, not really indentured, but you basically end up to where you're a serf because all your money's going to pay for like heating and lighting and all that other type of stuff, okay, and food. So you can't go and you can't be upwardly mobile. That's what they want. That's what this is about. This is about the Great Reset. This is about the fact of turning all of us into modern-day serfs. That's what this comes down to. Okay. Even Americans finally take climate change seriously. Excuse me. Most Americans look at it and go, okay, well, it's being hyped up and it's complete bullshit. It's just a minority. Most people who actually have a clue know that a lot of this is that it's being used to bring about things that aren't in the people's best interest. We know what's going on. Biden is converting the U.S. government vehicle fleet to electrics, and General Motors has announced plans to sell only zero-emissions models by 2035. Yeah, and here's what's funny. Biden goes and says they're converting the whole government fleet to electric vehicles, and Pelosi and her husband go and start doing insider shady shifty shit and buy shit tons of Tesla stock, which when that was announced, they made a killing on. Gotta love that. Tesla Motors is the most valuable car company on the planet, while ExxonMobil has been kicked off the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The Keystone XL is far from the only pipeline project to be canceled recently. Well, of course. See, this is about screwing us over. This is about making it so that we can't afford to have vehicles, so we can't afford to put gas in them. This is about the fact of making it too expensive for the average person to be upwardly mobile. This is about making it so that we are fucked financially. Seriously. The world is changing fast. Petroleum will still be used as chemical feedstock, but at the end of its role in transportation means the industry will shrink substantially. Yes, exactly. The industry will shrink substantially. They want to shrink the industry to raise the price. That's what this is about. And that raises the question of what to do with the people and places who will be left behind when oil becomes obsolete as a fuel. Well, you're trying to force obsolescence. This isn't a natural obsolescence, okay? You're trying to force it. And you're destroying the livelihoods of all these people going, oh, well, they'll easily be able to get another job. The cancellation of the Keystone XL is already beginning to cost jobs, and more losses could be on the way. Oil and gas extraction itself employs an estimated 145,000 Americans. Okay? And then you've got all of the industries that are related to that employ hundreds of thousands of Americans on top of that. But let's ignore that. I mean, they're just trying to say, oh, well, you know, these are the only people who are going to be affected. No, you're going to have like the people at the refineries. You're going to have the truck drivers that transport the oil, like with, say, besides the pipelines, because there's still trucks involved at certain points. Okay? You're going to have the people that run the train lines, okay, that carry the crude and stuff like that, because they're going after more than the Keystone Pipeline. They're going to fuck over the secondary industries and the people that are the roughnecks working on the, you know, the derricks and the oil rigs. That's what they want to do. This is about destroying the economy. This is about raising the price of everything so that average Americans get fucked, because you're going to raise the price of oil, you raise the price of gas. That means it raises the price of transporting food, which means it costs you now more to eat, okay? It raises the price to heat your home, to light your home, you know, all those things. That's what this is about. This is about taking away people's ability to be upwardly mobile. This is about turning us into serfs, as I keep saying. And they're trying to be like, oh, well, these people are going to be able to find other jobs. Really, when you're actually trying to destroy the economy to turn us into serfs, they're going to find other jobs. What, coding? Give me a break. A 2015 study by PricewaterhouseCoopers calculated that the entire oil and gas industry supports over 10 million jobs. Yeah. So the actual number of Americans forced to find new employment due to the end of fossil fuels is anybody's guess. Well, I'm guessing it's going to be around 10 million. Would make sense, but it's bound to be large. Yeah, like around that 10 million maybe. Workers in oil, gas-related industries are naturally going to be asking what jobs they can get next. The usual answer is that they can get jobs in renewable energy industries. Yes, because, yeah, all right, because putting a pipe in the ground is going to translate as a solar technician, okay? Putting a pipe in the ground is going to translate into you being, you know, a wind technician. Makes a lot of fucking sense, doesn't it? Indeed, jobs in the solar alone have now reached 245,000, far more than oil and gas extraction, because it's completely subsidized by the government almost. Well, almost completely. What do you expect? Even though solar was only 2% of the U.S. electricity in 2019. Yeah, it's because it's subsidized. That's why you get all those people working. Get rid of all the government subsidies, and all those people are fucked. Wind employs over 100,000, and some estimates claim that renewable sector as a whole supports 800,000 jobs. And the overwhelming majority of them have jobs because of government subsidizing. Let's get rid of the government subsidizing. Let's let the market decide, and we'll see what happens. Oh, wait, but then you can't push the Great Reset and the global warming 2030 bullshit, you know, and everything else. As renewables climb from their current modest share of U.S. energy production, this number will undoubtedly be even higher. Oh, bullshit. Now, this is what's funny. I highly doubt all those people are employed in the U.S. because, you know, you're talking about solar panel manufacturing and all that. Solar panels aren't manufactured in the U.S. So how the hell can this support 800,000 jobs here in the U.S.? It doesn't say that, though. That's another thing. They're not saying those 800,000 jobs are all in the U.S. Solar and wind, it turns out, are very, very labor-intensive to set up. Yeah, which means it takes more energy, we'll say. All right, takes more cost to set them up. Why they're government subsidized. And building wind turbines and solar plants is basically construction work. Roughly the same kind of thing that employs lots of people in the fossil fuel industry. Bullshit! Holy shit. As someone who's actually worked in the building trades, as a cabinet and furniture finisher, okay, that does not translate directly over, all right? Teaching someone to measure and cut and stuff like that doesn't necessarily translate over, okay? They'll be able to say at most, a lot of them will probably end up being fucking grunt labor. They would not be getting, like, skilled construction jobs. And I hate to say that. They might be able to pick up training with, while they're a grunt. They might be able to pick up some skills, but this isn't going to directly translate. And it's not basically construction work. All right. There's more to it than that. Okay. When you're talking about wind turbines and solar plants, all right, there's engineering involved. That's not basically construction. There's physical fucking engineering there. You have to have an engineering background. Roughnecks don't generally have that. Oh, you gotta love this bullshit. Of course, it's not easy to as just taking oil workers and slotting them directly into solar jobs. Many will do other things, and many solar workers will come from non-oil jobs. The labor market is a highly complex machine with millions of moving parts. So basically, now hedging the bets and saying, well, yeah, you gotta love that. Hedging bets and saying, oh, nothing, they might not be able to get a job, but hey, whatever. After you said they'll get a job. The question is how government policy can grease the gears of that machine. So basically more subsidies and that. How the government can force this to happen. Solar and wind jobs and other new jobs are mostly not going to be in the same places as oil jobs. So a lot of workers will have to move around the country for work. So basically what they want to do is these people are going to lose their jobs. They're going to have to, somehow manage to move across the country to feed their fucking families after you've destroyed their livelihoods. But they'll be perfectly fine. Look, that's what they say right there. That's okay. Moving around the country in search of opportunity is great. America is a great American tradition, and Americans could stand to move more away. Oh my God. So you want to ruin their fucking lives, and you're like, oh, well, they can just up and move their shit? This asshole, what's this shitbrick's name again? Noah. Dude, you are a retard. You are a full-fledged retard. Pushing this shit, thinking people are going to buy into this. Well, they can just move across the country. Dude, all right? Seriously, stop smashing your head into the fucking wall, even though you got a hockey helmet on, all right? You spurg. Stop smashing your head in the wall, because then you say retarded shit like this. I mean, seriously, this is so fucked up. Noah is such a sleazy little bastard trying to push this shit. Oh, my God. It would be okay if they... But moving is expensive and disruptive, and it's a big ask to demand that people uproot. But you just said it's a good thing that they do it, and they should. The government can help by giving those workers some cash. So basically, besides subsidizing the industries, pay people to move. Where the hell are we getting this money? The government can help by giving those workers some cash. Give me a fucking break. More subsidies. I had to reiterate that. They want to just throw money at the problem. When people lose jobs in sectors such as oil, and the government is intentionally trying to intentionally trying to sunset. You mean Biden? He did this through executive fucking fiat. That ain't the government. That's a dictator trying to kill the industry through executive order. Don't say the government. It's Biden. He signed an executive order that stopped the Keystone XL pipeline. Don't try to say, well, it's the government did it. No, Biden did it. Oh, my God. But anyway, so when people lose jobs in sectors such as oil that Biden is intentionally trying to sunset, anyone who gets laid off should get some kind of cash payment that they can use for relocation, retraining, or to tide them over during a job search. Well, that money ain't going to be useful for them if they're going to go for a job search. If you're literally destroying the industry they work in, they ain't going to find a job. And they're already getting unemployment if they get laid off or if they have their careers destroyed. Let's just throw them more money for relocation to go do a job that they're not qualified to do. Because this asshole says that drilling pipe into the ground is the same exact thing as, building a fucking wind turbine or a solar power plant. This guy is seriously fucking retarded. They're almost the same thing. This is like saying these roughnecks can just go and learn to code. It's the same exact shit. Because you need to have skill in order to build those places. It's not like, say, general framing and carpentry. It's just construction. No, it's not. It's skilled labored construction. Okay, that's very specific because you have engineering requirements. Holy shit. What will be harder is saving the economics of places like Texas, places in Texas and Canada's Alberta that have become economic centers for the fossil fuel industry. So basically, we're going to try to save those? No, you're going to run them into the ground. You're going to end up with like Alberta, places in Alberta looking like Detroit. But people will be very polite, eh? Oh, excuse me again. You know, Houston. Yeah, that's going to end up working out real friggin' well. Seriously. These people are disgusting. Trying to make it sound like this is a good thing. Oh, we're going to destroy these cities. We're going to destroy all these jobs. But hey, they can go learn to code, or they can go and build wind turbines and solar plants. Even though their jobs as Roughnecks doesn't translate to doing that. This guy's a fucking retard. Holy shit, this guy's a retard. Alrighty, the cancellation of Keystone XL threatens to devastate at least one small Canadian town, and surely many more come as tar sands projects dry up. Meanwhile, the Texas economy is no longer nearly as dependent on oil as it was in the 1970s, but the sector is still huge, and Houston owes much of its wealth to a cluster of energy companies. Literally trying to play down that you're going to destroy Houston. Oh, well, Houston's economy isn't really that dependent on oil now. Bullshit. It still is. Okay? This is such horseshit, it's not even funny. Even with, like, the Silicon Prairie around there, okay? You know, like the idea of, like, tech in Texas, we'll say. Houston's economy has offloaded a little bit to that type of stuff, but the majority of it is still oil. But they're playing that down. This guy is such an idiot. He's literally creating this. His opinion piece is just propaganda bullshit. Holy shit. Houston will be okay as long as it finds new industries for its white-collar workers. For its white-collar workers? You do realize that there are a shit ton of roughnecks there, okay, that work in the Gulf, okay, on the oil rigs, and they work on the oil derricks on land. There's more than white-collar workers there that are dependent on this shit. And these white-collar workers are like, oh, you just find them another job. Many of the skilled jobs in the oil and gas industry are now just some form of writing code. Oh, my God. Seriously? I was joking about the roughnecks, okay, learn to code. He's literally going for the learn to code shit with the white-collar workers. But anyway, so some form of writing code, and those people can just put to work writing code for other kinds of businesses. Bullshit! Most of the skilled jobs in the oil industry are not fucking code monkey jobs. That is a lie. Okay? That is a complete and total lie. Most of the jobs are not code monkey jobs that are white collar. Most of the white collar jobs are the logistics involved with the industry, not code monkey bullshit. They are literally the paper pushers and everything else that run the fucking industry. You know, middle management and stuff like that. They're not coders. This guy is a fucking retard. They can just go learn to code for other businesses. Holy shit. The city will have to focus on using that talent base to attract more companies in the non-energy industries where it already has strength. Healthcare, biotechnology, chemical engineering, aerospace, and advanced manufacturing, as well as software and finance companies to support these industries. Well, wait a minute. First off, you dumb fuck. You do realize there's something called the Silicon Prairie, right? If what you said were true, they could just go to the companies that are in the Silicon Prairie. But they don't, because most of those people are logistics people. They're not code monkeys. Seriously, I keep saying it, but this guy is fucking retarded. Noah, dude. Were your parents like brother and sister or like, you know, father, daughter or some shit? Because it would explain a lot with this retardation. Oh my God. Calgary in Canada can probably do something similar. Learn to code, eh? Don't worry, eh? You can just learn to code, eh? Don't worry about it. You can just learn to code. Seriously, they think that learn to code is their fucking answer. But when you tell all these reporters and shit that get laid off to go learn to code, that's hate speech. They're telling the oil industry to go learn to code, and that's perfectly fine. But you tell fucking reporters like this waste of space who should be laid off for this shit, all right, to go learn to code. That's hate speech, and you get banned from Twitter and social media in general with Silicon Valley. You gotta love the fucking irony of that one. But rural areas that depend on actual work of fossil fuel extraction, like that small town in Alberta, or maybe even Midland, Odessa, and West Texas, are likely doomed as population centers. Governments have no choice but to give people cash to help them move out of these areas. Oh, bull. See, this is also part of the Agenda 2030 shit. This is like megaopolis, okay, type stuff. I think that's the name of the videos that were put out. They want to make these megacities, and the only way you can make these megacities is if you drive, destroy the industry that keeps people in these smaller communities there, so that you force them to move to bigger cities. That's part of what this is. That's why they want to destroy the oil industry as well, is to make it so that they can force these people out of these more rural areas and into these super cities that they want to build as part of Agenda 2030. And they're basically admitting that's going to happen here and that we're going to have to pay people to do it. This is disgusting. Seriously. This is awful, how they're trying to play this. Go learn to code, move to the city. The government should pay you to do that. Wow. So while the end of fossil fuels will be economically disruptive, you mean economically destroying, economically disastrous, we'll say, the government has the tools to make it less painful, as long as politics don't get in the way. This is about politics. Holy shit. The whole thing with the Keystone Pipeline was political. But politics, you're trying to play it like it isn't. This was strictly politics. This was about globalism. This was about Biden appeasing the elites. That's politics. That's political. Yeah, you don't want to admit that, sleazy bastard. Oh, I mean, look at this. You know, oh, they can just go into construction and learn to code. They're destroying the livelihoods of how many thousands of hundreds of thousands of people? And they can just go into construction and build windmills and solar power plants and learn to code and program for them. And fuck you. A lot of people aren't going to be able to do that. The majority of people that are in the oil and gas industry, they don't have the skill set, or they're so far along with how long they worked with the industry that starting over is going to be almost impossible for them because of, like, you know, age discrimination, which they try to say isn't a thing. But if you reach a certain point and you go to start fresh in an industry, good luck getting your foot in the door. You're middle age and you're trying to start in a new industry, you're going to get laughed at. The chances of you getting a job are slim. And if you do get one, you ain't going to get paid good money because they're going to know because they know that they can exploit you because they know you got responsibility and bills and everything else. And they'll be able to get you for cheaper. Yeah. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm leaving things here.
If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.